Hi, sorry, we completely crashed. I'm just going to start again with Asan and Sari. I'm just waiting for him to log in. I don't know what happened there. Hi, thank you for logging back in. I do think each time that we need to find a better way to have these conversations, but I guess this is good enough. Just waiting for Asan to connect. Hello, thank you for joining in. Thank you guys for being so patient with us. I'm assuming that he's going to be with us shortly. Don't know what has happened. Please hang out. Conversation. Hi everyone. Sorry about this. We had an internet crash or an Instagram crash. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but there he is.
Can you hear me? Tanya, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, but I see you. Yeah, I can
Oh
see
my
you now.
God, listen, this is crazy,
Great.
man. Listen, I'm damn sorry, guys, whoever's on this
I
chat
can
right
hear
now.
you and see you.
Okay, lovely, cool.
I
ठीक है
can
ना?
hear you and see you.
Oh, there's a real problem with the. Um, okay.
Are
Yes, I
you on
am.
Wi-Fi?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the issue is.
Okay, so it's clear now. I
Okay,
think we're
cool.
okay.
Yeah,
We're good to go.
cool. I hope there won't be any more glitches.
Okay. So sorry, you were talking about traveling. You were talking about traveling and the fact that you love traveling to different quarries all around the
And then I
world,
was
and
recently, I
that's
was
where we
recently
sort of.
in Goa, and somebody told me about these uh, abandoned laterite quarries. Okay, which are like abandoned because in the rains,
Nice.
the quarries fill up with water, and they said that it's just the most amazing thing. And on a moonlit night, you can go swimming and stuff like that in those quarries in the middle of a jungle. So I did one of those adventure trips there, and it was just absolutely fascinating. So I
Nice.
think my love for stone and starts from the quarries, and that's where I think um, yeah, and I'll tell you something very interesting a little later in the talk, so we can move to our next question.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll move on to my next question. So a lot of your projects, you do weekend retreats, homes, and a lot of your projects include a lot of outdoor spaces, right? So what are the things that one must consider when you're selecting stone for outdoor spaces and when you're working with stone in outdoor areas?
Okay, so I must tell you, as as a student when I was studying architecture, I still remember one of the quotes from Louis Kahn, and which said that the sun never knew how great it was, okay, till it hit the side of a building. And I think it's fascinating because I always remember that, and I think that is the essence of Louis Kahn. And it is just amazing how it does. like daylight does wonders to the stone. So we use a lot of, I mean, I use a lot of textures um, on my cladding in stone, flat stone. We always try to play around with the, different. In fact, very recently we're doing a project in Rajasthan, and one of the things that we are doing is, of course, studying the direction of the and the movement of the sun. We are doing these large highlights in, rock cut stone, and that has a rock face stone has a lot of texture on it. So just the daylight falling on it creates these amazing shadows, throughout the day. And then, of course, in the night, we're taking help of artificial light to sort of light up the facade so that you can get a similar effect that you have in the daytime. But it is fascinating because, as the sun moves, the depth of the shadows in those crevices of the stones keep changing, and it just makes it, super, super interesting. So yeah, that's how, I mean, I like to use stones on my facades and in the outdoors.
So you also use a lot of patterns and textures, in your projects. You, like you said, you love to play around with stones, particularly in the residential field. What are the tips, or if you could share some advice on how to play around with different stones and textures in projects?
So the thing is that architecture is one thing. Now you quickly put me on into the interiors, and what happens is that we do tend to play a lot with patterns, but very carefully because today you don't want clutter in your homes. So we're very careful about that, and we try and avoid doing that in your main spaces that you're sort of living in or hanging around with, especially bedrooms or your living room. And we always play with a little bit of a pattern hobby, and I think that makes a interesting.
Ehsan, we can't hear you now. We can't hear you now. Can you hear me? We can't, we've lost your sound. Have you muted yourself? No, we could hear you, but suddenly we've lost you. I don't know what happened. Should we log back in? Should we log back in? I think let's try and log back in. Ehsan, let's log